I don't know if you guys know of the work of the Solas, but they're instrumental in the Dream Centre in Manukau. And this is a team of people who really believe in believing the impossible and making it real. I think these guys are classic examples of what has been called zero gravity thinking, and so I welcome them to the stage. Chris.
Well, talofa everybody. I want to start this morning with a bit of a disclaimer. In that much of what I'll be talking about today is a work in progress. It's part of a research that we are doing, and also the ongoing development of the Dream Centre. Now, I have this very strong conviction. I'm currently writing a book called The Wrong Side of the Counter. And a few years ago, I made an observation in South Auckland that in communities with high populations of Māori and Pacific people, most of the businesses were owned by non-Polynesians. And so I came to the conclusion that our people were standing on the wrong side of the counter. And meaning that they had become a primarily consumer-driven people. Now, there's power on the other side of the counter. It's an empowering experience to take someone's money from them. And so when someone walks into a shop, as it has in the past, and they've robbed them, what they've done is they've shifted the power from the other side of the counter to their side of the counter. Now the key is to try to acquire that power legally. Now it's that acquisition that fueled a passion with me to research the key factors that contribute to people and organisations becoming primarily consumer-minded. 2, to evaluate our own organisation in light of that information, and to implement whatever measures were necessary to break the cycle. And 3, to look at new innovative business models to ensure long-term self-sustainability for community-based organisations like the Dream Centre. We came up with some significant findings. The first one is that the lack of a good education not only limits a person's chances of a prosperous future, but it seriously undermines their ability to challenge the status quo. And the status quo seriously needs to be challenged. Secondly, people had developed a dependency on welfare and low incomes, which over time had become an incubator for consumer-driven mentality. And I found that even organisations can be consumer-driven. Thirdly, the poverty mentality is behind what I call a consumer-driven mentality. And both of these mentalities are a concern for me simply because they affect society at its critical mass, grassroots society. The population mass and the demographics that organisations like the Dream Centre work mostly with. And fifthly, the social, the cultural, the religious, economic and natural landscape of New Zealand is changing faster than we are willing to admit. And so as a result of all of these factors, the Dream Centre began to initiate these following actions. The first one was we wanted to develop an innovative business model that would sustain our core business long term. This included encouraging business enterprise within our own organisation and to the wider community. It is very hard for us to encourage business enterprise with individuals and people in the community when our organisation itself is not living it. We wanted to become an organisation whose long-term goal was to be self-sustainable. We did not want to become dependent on external funders. And so we identified some viable business ventures that would generate revenue to sustain all of the holistic services that we provide to the wider community. Ventures like the Lakewood Markets we run on Saturdays, the Lakewood Car Fair that we run on Sundays, the Dream Centre Cultural and Convention Centre, our Cafe Koko and catering services, and the Haka Hula Cultural Centre. We called it Haka Hula Cultural Centre because we found out that for tourists, the number one word Googled internationally for cultural centres was the word hula. And we realised that the haka is internationally known because of the All Blacks. So we decided that we want to launch the Haka Hula Cultural Centre, a Polynesian cultural centre in South Auckland. We're trying to launch it for the Rugby World Cup this year. Now, though these initiatives and others are in their early developmental stages, our goal as a community-based service provider is to establish a strong business arm to our organisation for the sole purposes of financing and resourcing our community services arm. We believe that long-term sustainability should be a compulsory component within any organisation's business plan. And I'll tell you why later. To do all of this successfully, it was imperative that we restructured our entire organisation. So we took our organisation and we cut it up into little pieces, we rearranged everything, and then we put it all back together again. Now, that involved restructuring our entire governance structure, our management systems, including appointing key people to our governance boards and ensuring that we were putting the right people in the right places. It also involved consolidating our quality services management, our policies and procedures, looking at all of our resource management, including human resources, and adhering to all of the legal requirements so that we could ensure quality service delivery. To become a successful organisation, the Dream Centre recognised that it had to have sound governance. It had to have an effective and efficient management team and procedures, and had to have enough money in the bank to pay the bills and finance the vision. We have a big vision. We have a big dream. My experience in working with a lot of organisations is that the funding is the number one problem. And we've chosen to get around that hurdle by creating business options and business enterprise to be able to fund our work.